The matter chop hot.
Asemene diloto. Hey! Aye!
Today's episode is a very interesting one, just like always. But this particular one is an editorial of which I would call it, because it is an educational piece of which, yes, day in, day out, we need to learn. And this is part of a conversation that is ongoing in the industry where I would want to add my 2 cents to it. The topic of this particular editorial, this particular edition of Roland's report is an industry artist, or who is an industry artist, or what benefit an industry artist gets. My name is Roland Amartey. You're welcome for wherever you're doing it from. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this content with other people. Let them also enjoy the beautiful things that you are enjoying. And let them know that real entertainment and social issues live here. Here we give you nothing but some of the best information. And also don't forget that this particular show is sponsored by Shaxi, Ghana's #1 ride-hailing app. Go on your Google Play Store or your App Store, download as a rider and enjoy very affordable rides. As a driver, you stand the chance of also enjoying commission-free rides. Just download, go on your Google Play Store or App Store, download it, subscribe with just 20 Ghana cedis as a driver, and then boom, whatever you make on your own is for you without paying any commission to it. So without wasting much time, let's enter into today's topic. Quickly open and close. Yes, so it is all about an industry artist, or a topic raised by Kwame Dazi titled, "Who is an industry artist?" And in this particular conversation, he made lots and lots of revelations. Well, the letter is out, and people like DJ Slim, amongst other people, have also shared their 2 cents. Let's enter into the matter. Then I'll share my
lyrics we dey serve you. Come join the party, make we go. Let's go.
posted on Kwame Dazi's page. Read, "Who is an industry artist? When any musician tells you that they are not music industry artists, ask them to tell you what makes up the music industry ecosystem. The music industry comprises of a lot of stakeholders: musicians, composers, producers, event organizers, event vendors, media, artist managers, instrumentalists, sound engineer, graphic designers, policy makers, etc. It goes beyond perceived media people that hate you. No artist can thrive without any of the above mentioned components, because you cannot produce all your songs. Even if you are a producer, there are times you would need variety. Sometimes you would need other composers and better arrangers to help. You may need backing vocalists. At times you feature other artists. In case you are playing live, you need musicians to play the musical instrument for you. Even if you want to mime, you need a DJ. Your managers are part of the industry too. Come to events. The people that book you for shows are part of the industry. You don't own the event venues. Those that own the places you perform at are part of the industry too. They are not with the Ghana Medical Association. If you are an artist and you cannot do all the above mentioned solely by yourself, you are an industry artist, and the industry will talk about you till you decide to abandon it for maybe a soap manufacturing industry." This is the letter coming from Kwame Dazi, who is the host on Joy FM, Showbiz A to Z. Yes, on his platform, he's raised lots of conversations, of which this is obviously one of them. Now, this is my 2 cents on this particular issue of who an industry artist is. When it comes to Ghana's music enclave or Ghana's music ecosystem, one person that has trumpeted on an analogy that he is not an industry artist or an industry person is Shatta Wale. It is not, it is not new. In fact, this is not even a secret. He says he's been saying it from time immemorial and he keeps saying it day by day. So obviously, if not for anything, not long ago, he made mention of the fact that some people in the media industry should stop talking about him. Well, when it comes to artists or celebrities and their displeasure about how reportage go against them, this is not the first time an artist is registering his displeasure. Elsewhere, the likes of Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, Kanye West, everybody, Burna Boy, even in recent times, have all spoken against how the media narrate certain stories pertaining to them, or how the media direct or even report certain stories pertaining to their brand and how they even affect them. So, in that sense, this is what Shatawale has been saying all along, that he has never been an industry person. Now, with Kwame Dazi's post suggesting who an industry person is a different angle or a different understanding of what actually Shatawale means. So this is just the meaning. And I know he has written so many English, of which it is true. Where a book mo brofo, you can't take it out. Yes, the music ecosystem comprises of so many components, of which the moment you take a certain position, you are definitely part of the industry's ecosystem. That one is non-debatable. That one, you can't challenge it. But then, this is the understanding. Perhaps he doesn't understand, or he and some people don't understand, when the likes of Shatawale says they are not industry boys or they are not industry artists. This is just the understanding. It is just like the calling of somebody Mama Ba or Dada Ba. I mean, when you look at it technically, that particular statement is absurd. Because in that sense, what makes somebody Mama Ba and what makes somebody Dada Ba? When you look at it technically, all of us were born by either Mama or Dada, or technically Mama. So in other sense, it makes everybody Mama Ba or a mama's child. But when you look at its explanation with regards to in context, you realize that certain people, or that particular tag, is given to certain people in certain context. So if Shatta says that he is not an industry artist, or he is not an industry person, or he is not an industry boy, he means it in a certain context and not technical like Kwame Dazi and the rest would want to push that narrative. No. If it is in that sense, then nobody should be called Mama Ba. If it is in that sense, then nobody should be called Mama Ba. Because everybody is a child of a mama. So when Shatta says he is not an industry person, or he is not an industry artist, in this context, this is what it means. He means that he is not the favorite child of the industry. And for that one, even Kwame Dazi himself and other people can attest to it. An industry artist, in quotes, has certain benefits that somebody that is not an industry person, in quotes, do not get. Do not get. And we know the ups and downs, or the positives and negatives that comes with you being an industry artist. Let's give those education here. Okay, so if somebody says he is an industry or artist, or if somebody is tagged an industry artist, these are some of the benefits that the person gets. These are basic benefits that comes from almost all angles in the people, or some of the key stakeholders in the industry. Now, let's compare with who, when we are done, we know when somebody says he is not an industry artist, and here I am using it in a context, as in industry's favorite boy or industry's favorite person, then we know whether or not, if Shatta says he's an industry person or an industry artist, whether it is true or not, or whether these people are right for still calling him an industry artist. Now, this is what it means. If somebody is an industry's favorite child, or an industry's favorite, of where all the elements and key stakeholders in the industry ecosystem is supporting, this is what the person stands to benefit. Access to resources. So being part of the industry or being an industry's favorite gives you access to resources. Not long ago, there is even a video circulating when the Deputy Honorable Minister Makokwe Kumante, when he was the programs director at Hit FM, said categorically that at a point when they wanted access to Shatter and they were not getting, they decided to create an industry favorite where they had to bench Shatawale's work to project somebody like Stonebwoy. So when it comes to having access to resources, Stonebwoy did not pay them. Stonebwoy did not go to beg them, like literally, like beg them that, oh, support me, play my songs or put my songs on rotation. No. But then there was a deliberate effort to make sure that they create an industry favorite. They create a favorite for people. So when you have access to resources, so they gave him access, or some people access to resources. So if it shows that it would have been very difficult for this guy to get, definitely they will put him on. If it is song rotation on some of these platforms, definitely you will be putting on. If it is access to anything, because you are an industry favorite, aka an industry artist, all these resources will be available to you. Now, the next one that you stand to benefit as an industry artist, in quotes, or industry's favorite, has to do with networking opportunities. Like I said, it will not be difficult for you to have access to certain quarters. It will not be difficult for you to be part of certain conversations. Even when you are not part, you will be added. Even when you are not part, you will definitely be added to it. And that is one of the benefits of you being an industry artist or the industry's favorite. Even when you do something that, yes, on the normal, people wouldn't have even seen it or people wouldn't even talk about it, it will be added because you are an industry artist, or people would want to make you an industry artist, or there is a deliberate effort to make sure that your works are out there, your works are seen, the things that pertains to you are trumpeted. This is what we call an industry artist or favorite. And this is done by the whole industry ecosystem, of which, even if it is by key stakeholders, they make sure that they are able to plug you in certain areas easily, even without your effort or even little effort from you. Now, exposure and visibility, professional support, validation and recognition. You will be validated in certain areas that even at a point where everybody knows that, Charlie, this person no reach this level, you lie back. Because you are an industry artist, or people would want to make you the industry's favorite or darling boy. Trust me, your name will be mentioned. Trust me, you'll be called. Whether your level of work is even up to that particular standard or not, some of these things will be given to you if you are an industry artist. The likes of Yao Tog, Kofi Jama, and all these guys recently have come out to talk about how they feel being used and dumped when they were hot, or they were hot in the system, or they were trending by some industry stakeholders. Because as at that time, they made them understand that you are the industry favorite. We all know the kind of platforms that certain people granted the likes of Yao Tog just to spite the Asaka boys when Yao Tog and there was that fallout between Yao Tog and the Asaka boys. We all know how, because Yao Tog became the industry's artist, the industry's favorite boy, he had certain opportunities and certain windows to operate. Meanwhile, under normal circumstance, or now, currently, he wouldn't have had that opportunity. He wouldn't have had that particular opportunity. Now, the disadvantages of you not being an industry person, or the disadvantages of you being an industry person, is this: loss of artistic control, exploitation, and manipulation. Let's tackle these two. Loss of artistic control. So if you're an industry person, if you're an industry boy, or so to say, there are certain things that you may not have control over because the presenters, the DJs, the event people, or the people that makes or that make up certain components of the entertainment industry would now dictate what you do as an artist. Artistically, they would be the one to dictate for you. So at the end of the day, because they control the things and the opportunities and resources they give to you, now it will be up to them to decide, okay, now we are bailing almost all Afrobeat artists on our shows. So artistically, you will be forced to comply. You will be forced to do the things that they like so that at the end of the day, they would call you. So that at the end of the day, you will earn favor in their sight. So even if, at a point you want to do reggae, at a point you want to do something different, because they are the ones that are controlling the platform, they are controlling the stage, they are controlling the resources and everything. They are the ones that are going to dictate to you that do A, do B, do C, do D before. And because you are the industry's child, you have no other option than to do it. Creative limitations. Yes, the industry pressure will definitely give you limitations as to where you can go, where you cannot go, the things you can say, and the things you cannot say. So even if somebody is pressing your neck, even if somebody is cheating you, even if there's some things that are due you, that you would want to even speak on, because you are an industry artist, in quotes, or the industry's boy, of which all the resources at your disposal are coming from them, or majority of it are coming from them, you can't dictate to them what you are due. You can't tell them what is due you. You can't tell them, or you can't object to certain conversations. It will never happen, because at the end of the day, you are even scared that they will come at you. You are even scared that you will be blacklisted. You are even scared that, hey, these people, this thing that I'm going to say, it is going to give me problems. So at the end of the day, because you are an industry artist, in quotes, or industry's favorite boy, you tend to keep quiet on some of these issues. Swallow it. And on the day when you feel like, Charlie, right now, the Atiechi, you will come and speak like Yao Tog and Kofi Jama, who are now complaining that they've been used and dumped. Now, the next one has to do with dependency on industry support. If you're an industry artist, or you are the industry's favorite boy, of which all the elements that is making you huge, that is making you relevant, is at your disposal because certain people, or all the elements, or people controlling all the elements, would want to use to push you intentionally. What it means is that you are going to be dependent on that industry machinery, of which should even a section say we are not happy with you, you are going down. If a section says we are not happy with you, you are going down, trust me. So your dependency or your relevance in the industry is based on these elements and this element alone, of which you have zero authority over it. You have zero authority over it. That is when somebody can say, hey, stop playing this person's song, stop playing that person's song, and it is going to happen. And that will have a direct effect on your career. It is going to have the direct effect on your relevance. It is going to have a direct effect on the things that you enjoy in the industry. So in that sense, your dependency on the industry is another negative reason for you being an industry artist or the industry's favorite boy. Now, loss of underground credibility. The underground credibility here has to do with you actually curating things for yourself. You actually championing love for yourself. You actually doing things that people will naturally fall in love with you without you forcing it. without it being like a favor. It's like you earning that street credibility. So when you look at people like Shatta, you look like people like Daddy Lumba, you look like people like Sarkodie, you look at people like Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, and all these people. These are people that even their own system fought. Even their own system fought them. So if somebody is saying, oh, me, I am not an industry boy, or I am not an industry artist, it doesn't mean that, for Shatta to say he's not an industry artist, we all know he always does things even to fight for the same industry that he says he's not part of. So you realize that he's not talking technical, just like the other people would want to push that narrative. But he would want to say that some mama ba, industry that are bad tag, he's not one of them. So even if today a music executive or a radio producer or a media house even comes to say we are blacklisting Shatta Wale, it will not affect him compared to other or any of his colleagues that owns their success or their relevance to these machineries. If any of these guys wake up today to say we are blacklisting Asumisi, we know the direct effect it will have on his career. But let's ask ourselves, how many times have Shatta Wale how many times have people not called for the blacklist of Shatta Wale? Because he doesn't want to be gagged, whether when it comes to creativity, when it comes to involvement, when it comes to sharing ideas pertaining to the industry, when it comes to conversations, when it comes to the do's and don'ts. We know how unorthodox this person is. Yet, so many people have called for his blacklisting. So many people have called for him being banned. So many people have called for his head on one way or the other, of which some of them, he's even gone to jail for that. But he's been able to build that street cred to the extent that now when he says he's not an industry person, it means that he is not a direct product of, he's not that person that you say it is your machinery that is giving him life. People will say, oh, so because of that, and the letter of Kwame, that this letter is saying, so we will talk about you. If you are an artist and you cannot do all the above mentioned solely by yourself, you're an industry artist and the industry will talk about you till you decide to join the soap manufacturing company. You see? And this is where some of the ignorance also steps in. I am a media person, and we all know how this media thing works. If the media's job is just about talking about people, then trust me, it would have collapsed by now. Let's not be hypocrites, or let's not be hypocritical about this. Talking about people also depends on their relevance, and also depends on our interest and how they benefit us, even financially. See, Shatta's name has become like a catalyst. In every conversation, there can be two artist conversation of which one may be Shatta Wale and pick any other artist. And I tell you, when it comes to interest and how or which people would want to talk about, pick these two artists and give the media option to choose one. They will choose Shatta Wale whether it is good news or whether it is bad news. Because man has been able to build his name beyond those machineries. So at a point where they say, oh, we will not play his songs again on radio, we will not play his songs again on TV, he's been able to build that street cred to the extent that they have no other option. They have no other option. We as a media do not have any other option than to talk about him. Because financially, business-wise, it makes sense. If the media's role is just about talking about anybody in the industry, there are so many unknown artists in the industry, then why do we ask them to pay before we talk about them? Why do we ask them to pay before we promote them? Why do we ask them to pay before we put them on platform? Because we are doing business. So we will talk about Shatta Wale not because we want to talk about him because he exists in the industry, no. Or he plays part in the industry, no. But also because we get financial gains from it. It is also business for us. So yes, Kwame Dazi asked, he says, when any musician tells you they are not music industry artists, ask them to tell you what makes up the music industry ecosystem. So Kwame Dazi, this is your response. If somebody says he's not an industry artist, in quotes, like you've put in it, it means he's not the industry dadaba. He's not the industry's favorite boy. The industry's favorite boy is the person in which, even when he is wrong, there are so many instances where the likes of Sack or the Stone Boy and other guys have done wrong things in this industry. And we know certain people that are supposed normally would have spoken about it, because whatever they are going to say is going to hurt the brand of these artists. They would prefer not to talk about it. But bring Shatawale in this same conversation and they will come and speak. And they will find their voice. And then they would know how to share a sentence or two. We are in this country when Stonebwoy pulled a gun. Some people never coughed about it. We are in this country when Sarkodie and Yvonne Nelson's abortion saga came. Some people never coughed about it. And that is what Shatawale is talking about. Those people are industry dadaba. Those people are industry artists. Those people are covered by the industry, whether good or bad. And Shatta do not benefit this. The people that give him some of these benefits are people who genuinely love him. People who genuinely want to do business or have seen the business acumen of him and would want to tap in. And those businesses are genuine. Those businesses do not come because they see Shatta and they just want to, because he's part of the industry, they just want to do business with him. No. Because he's business viable. So yes, if you don't understand whenever an artist says he's not an industry artist anymore, that is what it means. He is not an industry dadaba. He is not the industry's favorite person. So yes, your understanding may be book mubrofo, of which you can write plenty. Shatta says he's not an industry artist, yet he fights for royalties to be fixed. And that royalties is connected to the industry. That royalties is what will make the industry grow. So even if he says he's not an industry artist, and your understanding is not up to that level, pause before you make some of these statements. Else, so many people would not be called dadaba or mamaba. Then that statement, let's stop it. It simply means that he is not your industry's favorite artist. And that is what he means. Because if he is your favorite, there are certain things you will never call on him. There are certain things you will never wish would happen to him. There are certain things that will happen to him and you wouldn't even cough about it, of which you guys do to most of the artists. So yes, before you also come out to give a different explanation on people's statements, I believe you should also take your time to ask. When somebody says he is not an industry's artist or an industry's favorite, you should also take your time to ask him to elaborate. It's just like somebody saying, hey, me, I'm not Mama Bao. But meanwhile, Mama Newo. But meanwhile, he was born by a woman. Take your time and inquire. Else, forget your book, and would that be applicable in this context or in this conversation? No. My name is Roland Amartey. This has been Roland Reports. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this content with other people. Let them know that real entertainment and socialities live right here in the capital of Ghana. And hey, I have dope content on this platform of which you can also enjoy. So after this particular episode, you can still click on other videos and enjoy. Till then, stay safe. We will meet on the next episode. Peace.
The matter job hot. Assembly Diloto. Hey. Aye. Hey.